What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now today I'll be doing my 2021 AFL Season Predictions video. So we'll be predicting the ladder, the awards, and who I think will be the premiers in 2021. Obviously things are sort of getting back to normality, so surely we can have a normal 2021 season. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. First we'll do the ladder predictions, and I'll be going from 18th to 1st. So coming in 18th spot, I'm going to put the Adelaide Crows. Obviously didn't have the best season last year, lost a few players during the trade period, and yeah, I feel like the Crows, it's going to take a few seasons for them to go up the ladder a bit. So for me, it's the Crows finishing 18th spot. In 17th spot, I have the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Obviously got a few players during the draft and the pre-season coming in a bad position last year, but I can't see those players lifting North Melbourne higher than 17th or 18th on the ladder this season. They had the likes of Higgins, and now he's gone. They brought in Stevenson and R2 from the Pies, but I just don't feel like those players will be enough to put North Melbourne in a higher position on the ladder this year. Coming in 16th spot, I think will be the Essendon Bombers. Obviously they've lost a shit ton of players during the trade period. They picked up a few good players during the draft, but I just cannot see them finishing higher than 16th on the ladder this season. They'll have a few wins obviously here and there, but losing the likes of, say, Adam Sard, he was a great loss for the Bombers. He was that great player who had that run off the halfback line, and now they've lost that. So it'll be interesting to see how the Bombers will go, but they've just lost a lot of players, so I feel like the Bombers will finish 16th spot this season. Coming in 15th spot, this may be a bit controversial, but I feel like the Swans will finish 15th. They've got a okay list, but a few of their players are a bit young, and I feel like it's going to take a few seasons before those young players grow into their full potential. Obviously they've still got a few old players that will, be showing the way to the young blokes, but it's going to take a bit before those young blokes obviously reach their full potential, like I said before. So for me, it's going to be the Sydney Swans finishing 15th spot. In 14th, I have the Hawthorne Hawks. They've got a few good players, including Kosicki, who kicked six goals on the weekend against the North Melbourne Kangaroos. It was at Arden Street. He looks like a good player. It's just not surprising nowadays, Hawthorn picking up some good players that you've never even heard of. So yeah, I feel like the Hawks will finish 14th, sort of same boat as Sydney. They've got a few young players coming in the list, and obviously it's going to take those young players a few seasons to get into their full potential. So yeah, Hawthorn 14th for me. In 13th spot, I have the Gold Coast Suns. They've got a good list this year, and hopefully Matt Rowell doesn't get injured, because we all know how good Matt Rowell can be, considering he only played minimal games last year but was a great impact on the footy community. He was just a great player to watch as well, and I didn't even go for Gold Coast, so that's saying something. But yeah, if he can have a good season, and obviously they've got a few good other players like Miller, Greenwood, and all that. So if they can have a good season, I feel like the Suns can finish high on the ladder, and I feel like they will finish 13th in my opinion. In 12th spot, I have the GWS Giants. I feel like they'll sort of drop off a little bit this season, but who knows how they will go. They're obviously going to have a few more home games like every other team will this season at their actual home ground. So I feel like the Giants, it's going to be that 8 to 12 spot, but I just feel like the teams that I've put above them will have a bit better season, and yeah, it's going to be the Giants in 12th spot for me on the ladder. Coming in 11th, I've got the Melbourne Demons. Obviously they've got the likes of Petrarca, Oliver, and even what's his name, Brayshaw, but I still feel like I just just can't see the D's sticking into the top 8. I feel like they will come close, but there'll be a few losses on the way that will just sneak them out of the top 8. But who knows what could happen. They could have a great season, but for me, I feel like the D's will finish 11th on the ladder. In 10th spot, I have the Fremantle Dockers. Had a great season last year, and their midfield, forward line and defence started all clicking together, it seemed like. So if they can get, even better this season, I feel like they could go even better this season. I feel like the Dockers will come close to the top 8, but will just miss out. And obviously they've still got a few youngsters on their list, and it's going to take time before those youngsters, know how to, win big games. So for me, it's going to be the Dockers finishing 10th spot on the ladder. In 9th spot, I have the Carlton Blues, or the Navy Blues, whatever you want to call them. This will surely brighten up a bit of Blues fans from my last pre-season ladder prediction video. But yeah, I'm going to put the Blues in 9th spot for this one. I feel like, they've got the list to come close to the 8. They've got a few good players on their list nowadays, like Sard and Zach Williams, I think it is. I don't know. I've forgotten his name, but I feel like you know who I'm talking about. And they've got a lot of good players on their list that could take them higher up the ladder, but I just feel like they'll miss out on the 8 and finish 9th spot this season. Coming in 8th spot, I put the Collingwood Magpies. I still feel like that because I go for Collingwood, have a few good players on our list that could take us just into the top 8. Players like Adams, Sidebottom, if he has the full season, Darcy Moore, Grundy and all that. So we still got a list that can, win games that are needed to be won. But, I just feel like the teams above us that I've put will do much better. So, yeah, I'm putting Collingwood in 8th spot. In 7th spot, I'm going to put the West Coast Eagles. I feel like, they'll sort of drop off like they did last year. They'll lose games that they should win, maybe even. But they'll still be up there contending in the finals like they do mostly every year nowadays. So yeah, I'm putting the West Coast Eagles in 7th spot. In 6th spot, I'm going to put the Saints. Now, it was really between the Dogs and the Saints for 5th and 6th spot. And I've put the Saints in 6th spot, but they honestly could be 5th. It's so hard to tell at this point. They've got the pace to do so. They've got, if Max King can, I'm pretty sure that's the right King that I'm talking about. I don't know. They look the same, so you can't fucking accuse me of that. But, I feel like if King can, take clunks, can take marks this year, can kick, from 2 to 4 goals every weekend, the Saints will definitely be up there, and they've got the midfield to do so as well. They've got the players to do so. So I feel like the Saints will be finishing either 5th or 6th, but I put them 6th. Now, I've put the Dogs in 5th, and like I said, it was between the Saints and the Dogs. I put the Dogs in 5th just because of their midfield. I feel like their midfield just is a little bit more overpowered than the Saints is, with the likes of Bontempelli, McRae, Hunter, Dunkley. The list goes on, it literally does. I feel like the Dogs will finish in 5th spot, just missing out on the top 4, but they could potentially go up there. Obviously, they've added Treloar to that midfield as well, so it's looking scary. Their midfield's looking scary, and obviously their forward line, they've got the likes of Norden, and if Bruce can, play a few good games as well, they've got the forward line to really scare opponents, to scare the competition. So I've got the Dogs in 5th spot. In 4th spot, I have the Port Adelaide Power finishing 4th spot. Obviously, they just missed the grand final last year by a kick, but they've got the list to, finish in the top 4 again. They've got the players to do so. They've got that connection. They've got that, they've got players that can read the ball really well. I think Boak is one of them. Jonas in the back line is another one of them. So yeah, I've got the Power finishing 4th spot. In 3rd spot, I have the Richmond Tigers. Obviously, they'll be playing a lot more games at the G, which is their hunting ground, as everyone knows. They've got all the players that can, even take them maybe even higher up the ladder. They've got Martin, Revolt, Lynch as well, so we can't forget about those players. So it's the Tigers finishing 3rd for me. In 2nd spot, I have the Brisbane Lions coming in 2nd spot. They'll get a lot more, well, they already got a shit ton of games at the Gabba last year. So sort of this year will be a bigger test, playing a lot more away games down back in Victoria, in Perth and all that. So it'll be interesting to see how they cope, but they've definitely got the list to cope with it nowadays, with the likes of McCluggage, Sorko, and now put Danaher in the forward line. If he can get back to his magic best, that forward line could become, you know, a really good one with the likes of Hipwood in it as well. So I've got the Lions in second spot, and in first that only leaves the Geelong Cats. So I've picked the Cats to come in top spot. They've got a great list this year, and people may thinking, oh, it's an old list, blah blah blah, but they're players that know what they're doing, and I feel like I don't know, Higgins comes into their list, and I feel like Higgins wasn't being used that well at North Melbourne, and I feel like the Cats will use Higgins much better than North Melbourne were. I feel like they'll have a certain game plan for Higgins that will work out well, and you know, Geelong are a premiership side, whereas North Melbourne was sort of a rebuilding side. So they, with the likes of Higgins, and if he knows what he's doing, he knows the role that he will play, I feel like you're going to have a good season. And then you chuck in Smith on the list as well, then you've got the likes of Cameron up forward as well, to an already good forward line, an already great forward line. The Cats can look menacing this year, so I've got the Cats finishing top spot. Alright, so time to move on to the awards, and then we'll go my premiership prediction. So the first award I'm going to predict is the 2021 Rising Star Award, and I'm going to predict Matt Rowell to win it. You've probably heard this in every prediction video, but it has to be him. Played some great footy before he got injured last year, so if we can have a full season this year, he could just be, you know, capable of anything. He could be just kicking bags every weekend, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if Matt Rowell can play a full season, sorry, burp's coming. No, it's not anymore. If Matt Rowell can play a full season, I feel like he will win the Rising Star Award in 2021. Now, the Coleman, I feel like Jeremy Cameron is going to win the Coleman with a bag of 62 goals throughout the season. He's going to be playing in a already good forward line, and the Cats will know what Jeremy Cameron is capable of, the amount of goals that he can kick. So I feel like they'll just know what to do. They'll know how to get the ball to him, deliver the ball to him, and I feel like Jeremy Cameron will have a good season this year. For the Brownlow prediction, this may be a bit controversial, but I've picked Marcus Bontempelli. Now, during the game against Melbourne, racked up 3 goals, racked up 31 possessions. He looked back to his freakish best, and I don't know, I just feel like the Bont will have that, you know, freakishly good season like he did a few years back. Well, he had freakishly good seasons, but I feel like he'll be back to his best this year. And yeah, that's why I've chosen him for the Brownlow. And the last prediction I'm going to predict is the premiers for 2021, and it is going to be the Geelong Cats. This may come as a surprise or it may not, but I feel like if there's any season where the Cats can win the premiership, it's this one. They've got the list to do so, they've got the players to do so, they've got the goal kicking power to do so. There's no reason why the Cats can't win the premiership in 2021. So it's the Cats for me who will win the premiership in 2021. Let me know what your predictions for the 2021 season will be down in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in another one very soon. Cheers.